Hey everybody, and welcome to a hard-hitting wild ride with Steve-O. We've got the ultimate legend of MMA, Chuck Liddell, the Iceman. And I'm totally bros with Chuck for years. In fact, we were together when I found Wendy in the streets of Peru. And boy, is he going to serve it up for you on this episode. Not just sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but how about on a 150-foot yacht? Yeah, dudes, strap on your seatbelts and enjoy the ride. And speaking of rides, I'm on tour, and on my tour bus, man, gotta say I've had a lot of problems. Not the least of which was with the crappy mattress that came with that damn bus. But my friends at Helix, dudes, they hooked me up. I reached out. I said, hey, dudes, can you get me a good quality mattress for my crappy tour bus? And they did, man. And they can hook you up, too, because you get such a rad deal from them. If you go to helixsleep.com/Steve-O, you take an easy 2-minute quiz, which sets you up with the custom mattress, which is perfect for you and will give you the best night's sleep. You get up to $200 off any mattress you choose to buy, and it comes with a 100-day risk-free guarantee where if you don't like it, they'll even come and pick it up for you. But hey man, you're gonna love it. And not only do you get up to $200 off of any mattress you want, plus they give you 2 free pillows with it, and their pillows are the best. So one more time, go to helixsleep.com/Steve-O. And now let's get into it with the Iceman. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Liddell. Yeah, dude.
What's up, brother?
And of course, you know Scott Randolph and the gorgeous Paul Brisky.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Chuck.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
There's not too many people you can have on your podcast that you could really say are legends, but I'm calling you a legend.
Oh, thank you.
Do you feel like a legend?
I never get. I don't know. It's kind of something someone else titles you. You know, it's kind.
Yeah,
it is
right.
kind of cool when my son looks up at me and goes, "Dad, why do people call you legend?"
Yeah.
I'll explain that to you someday, son.
Yeah, you're like, let me just pull you up a YouTube video and tell you
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, what did your buddy say, Galuli? He said, if you're good, people will tell you. If you're great, other people will.
If you're good, odds are you're telling everybody. If you're great, everyone else is saying it for you.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That's
Yeah.
good. Have your kids seen like your fight videos and shit? Like your old...
They've seen some here
Yeah.
and there. Yeah, now they have.
Yeah.
They've seen some stuff.
Are they like, that's you?
No, they just got they think it's cool.
Yeah, I bet.
They got a little things. I got action figures for my kids. I mean, that was one of the cool things. First action figure I got. I got my kids playing with, sitting. He's over there playing with a Chuck Liddell doll.
Wow.
Beating up Spider-Man or beating up so I'm like,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
That doll always wins when he's playing.
Yeah, dude. So, man, and you were with me and Paul Brisky when we found Wendy in the streets of Peru.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you and I were down there doing mountain climbing with the stars.
That's right. Ultimate Expedition.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I even ever told you. When I misunderstood when I signed up for that. I misunderstood when it was.
Oh.
So, I got cleared for my neck surgery. I got cleared to do anything besides walk. A week after I got back. I thought it was. For some reason I thought it started in October, and
Oh my God.
and then it said like the end of July or whatever, or beginning of August. I'm like, oh man, I had like 2 weeks to I just got cleared 2 weeks before I left to hike. Before that, they didn't want me to hike because they wanted me to fall and hurt my neck or
Yeah.
you hurt something. But I got cleared 2 weeks before I go. I went there to go hiking, so I hiked a few times before I got to get ready for the show. I hadn't done anything for months.
How far were you guys hiking during the show? Were you guys?
I mean, dude,
Just to get
A
to
long
base
way.
camp was like a 13-hour hike.
What?
to get to the base camp was, yeah.
So like to start the show, it's like, hey, we're going to film the show, so we got to go to our base camp. That's a 13-hour hike for everybody. There's no way to not walk.
It ends at 14,000 feet. That's 14,000 feet. At
Yeah.
that point.
Your base camp was at 14,000 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Was that when you were
Yeah.
huffing the blow up thing, and then you like you're dizzy? That's 14,000 feet.
Yeah, I mean, we were at altitude. It was gnarly, yeah. With, like I remember you having a tough time. Like you got sick and
No,
like.
I never got sick. But I did pass out after going up that second to last hike. I came back. I went to take my backpack off and just fell on my.
Oh my god.
I woke up looking up the sky and going, oh, maybe it was a good idea to go back down.
Why? Because going down.
Well, no, the guy, he's just like, you're not going to make it. You know, like I was coming up and we kept going. I was like, I'm good. I'm fine. You know, you're going too slow. We're not going to make it. Like, you're not going to make it up there. And the big problem is once we get up there, I don't know if we would get you down. We're going to have to get you down. So,
Wait, he said you're not going to make it. What? Because he was checking your blood oxygen or something?
I was just struggling that bad.
Right.
Like, you're just like, I just couldn't. I just kept, but I go, no, I'm fine. I go, keep going. I was going, but he's like, we got to pick it up. We got to keep going a little faster.
I remember thinking, dude, Chuck's not okay.
Yeah, and then I went back, but you know, I went back down. I sat down, and I woke up. I thought I was walking through a field, and I look up, and I'm like, oh wait, okay, I know where I'm at.
Wow.
I guess I'm down here. I just passed out.
They knew you passed out, or you passed out just on your own? Like, they didn't even see you?
They actually they saw me come back down. They actually took cameras off me and then leave me alone because I was sitting there like, you know. And then I took my bag off. As soon as I took my bag off, I set it down and I went.
Wow. And that was for the final summit?
The second last.
The second to last one. The Shinka, right?
The Shinka was the more mellow one. And then what was the one that looked like titties?
Titicaca.
That's what I was about to say, but we just called it the
Wait, for the
Titty
people
Mountain.
that don't know what you're talking about, what show are you
So
guys
the show is
talking about?
Ultimate Expedition for YouTube Red. It was a bunch of celebrities and YouTubers. And the goal is just, it's like a mountain climbing show with the stars, just like Steve explained. But
They trained us how to do stuff and then have us hike up. Go up
and the
try to do
basic
it.
goal is just to get someone to the summit.
And it's a tough thing anyway because of the altitude is hard on especially on
Different people are affected in different ways by altitude. I don't think it did much to me. Like, and some, it's just crazy, dude. It's kind of like maybe like COVID affects some people a lot and other people.
You guys were in Peru. Were people eating cocoa leaves for the altitude?
Oh, yeah.
sickness?
That was a thing.
They had a giant like bag of it, like Fierce Pete, and bought like a giant
And it worked?
pillowcase bag of it. Oh yeah, I was chewing it the whole time.
Yeah, that didn't sound like a good idea for me to do.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think I would.
Yeah, I remember we first got there. You were like checking into the hotel, and you're like, like they just offered me cocaine tea. Like, I don't think I could do that.
And what did you feel like after you were chewing on it?
Just a little like buzzy. I mean, I've never done coke, but it was like
You've
caffeinated.
really never done coke?
Never done coke.
What a sweet kid. Chuck Liddell's done coke. But you were never like, that was never like what you were all about, right? That was
No, it happened here and there, yeah, but no.
It was the early 2000s, right?
Yeah. You ever do coke off of a woman's butt?
Is that a serious question? Oh man.
Wendy's out of here.
Yeah. Wendy's like, I'm just gonna ruin those cameras over there.
Yeah. So, dude, you were also, you probably don't hear about this much, but you were a part of Big Brother magazine.
Oh yeah.
And
That was funny. That was a funny skit.
right, and the skit was you beat up their intern.
Their
Intern Steve. And their intern Steve is Scott's brother.
Oh no way.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Oh, so that whole thing was so funny. Like at the end, you know, at first they didn't want gloves. They didn't want. We're gonna put some gloves on if we're gonna spar. I don't want to accidentally hit this guy and split him open. We're going, and I'm moving around with the kid, and I hit him with a jab, and he almost falls down. Like I'm like, okay, I don't want to, gotta be careful, not hit him too hard. And I'm messing around, and they're like, it'd be really cool in this last round if you just knocked him out. I'm like, dude, I can't do that. I mean, it's because you're in a bad position, right? Like, so I'm a professional fighter known for power, and you're asking me to knock this kid out. So no, I've got to hit him. And if I hit him to try to knock him out, I got to hit him as hard as I can, because you don't know how good a punch a guy can take. Some guys you can hit him in the head with a, you tap them, they fall over. You got other guys you hit them in the head with a brick and they're still coming. So if I'm gonna knock this guy, if I say I'm gonna knock this guy out, I got to go there and hit him hard. I'm gonna go. So I'm like, this guy's an intern. He was talking with me before this. Like,
and he was a heroin addict.
Yeah, he was worried about it, like me hurting him the whole time because we were talking earlier. So I'm like, you're gonna be fine. We'll get through this. And I'm like, dude, no, sorry. I mean, it'd be one thing if one of these guys asked me to do that. You know that you're making money, you're doing stuff that's not. But there's no way I'm gonna knock out some kid.
Well, you were knocking him down by leg kicks.
Yeah, they asked me to knock him down with leg kicks. I can do that because those heal. They don't. Honestly, I think they don't feel very good.
I remember
I can do that. I can knock him down with leg kicks. He'll fall. I'll kick him in the leg and he'll fall.
I remember that morning when he was going to go do it. He was in the kitchen eating Vicodin because he wanted to like get numb before he went in. And then,
I can think of why he was eating Vicodin, because he was a heroin addict.
And he had a problem
like
with
he
Vicodin.
did that the day before too.
No, but then when
his breakfast.
when he got home, I remember he was telling me about the whole experience and how he was like, he kicked the shit out of me, and I was like, were you going as hard as I asked him if he was going as hard as he can on you. He's like, I was going 110% as I could, and I said, was he going 100% on you? He's like, he was going like 10%, and he was fucking killing me.
I was palming like this.
I mean, when Steve, your brother Steven Randolph is not a fighter. Like, what's 110%?
But that's the thing, and that's the difference with people like in high school or college that like they get in bar fights and they think they can fight, but like going up against a professional, it's like night and day different.
It's a total, different thing. Like, guys like, I see guys like, I got jumped by 4 dudes. I'm looking at them like, where'd they hit you? Like, you don't have any marks. Like, how did you get jumped? How are you in a fight with 4 dudes and you got no marks? If 4 of my buddies beat you up, you look like a pinata.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember that back in the day, like when UFC started taking off, it's like some of the guys were like, I mean, dude, so-and-so would do pretty well against one of these guys, and it's like, there's not a chance in hell any of these guys on the street can come close to like kicking the shit out of a professional fighter.
There's a lot of, back in the day especially, like you can hear people talking about, I get irritated because I know the guy that was fighting, that guy's a pussy, he can do this. I'm like, really? You want to fight him? I'll fly him out here. I'll fly him out here. You beat him, I'll give you $1,000. No one took me up on it.
Yeah, I bet.
But I'm like, do that, because my buddy just lost, but you're saying something like you couldn't even hold his jockstrap, like in a fight.
Yeah,
like he's not gonna. It's like I'll be happy. I'm happy to fly him out here and have beat your ass for saying that.
Would people try and fight you, like when you were like out drinking or something? Would some macho guy try to?
I really never had that problem. I mean, I think for me, one of the big things, a lot of times guys would want to fight like celebrities or people that are in sports, even boxers or whatever. They're like, oh, he's a boxer, not a street fighter. He's a wrestler, not a street fighter. Jiu-jitsu. Like I was known as like a street brawler with heavy hands.
Right.
So I wasn't really the guy you want to do that with. And the other thing, a lot of people always think I'm a lot bigger than they thought I was going to be. So I'm bigger than they thought. And then the other one is, the thing is that most assholes that would do that were fans of mine. So
yeah,
right. I was one of their favorite fighters. So
sure.
As long as I'm so laid back. Like if that come up, I'm always nice to the people.
Right.
So I wouldn't give them a reason to start a fight with me.
Yeah.
I mean, you really got. I just tell people. I tell people all the time. If you talk your way into a fight with me, you're good. Because your mom's gonna ask me why I waited so long to beat your ass. That's how big an asshole you are.
Yeah,
certain
that's epic. And before you were a fighter, you were a bouncer.
Yeah, I bounced as a bartender most of the time, but I broke up most of the fights too in the bar. But it was a little easier from behind the bar actually because you could see people, you could see it happening. Bill, you get it before it starts.
So you jump over the bar,
or I throw ice at them. I just throw ice at them. Hey,
is that how you got the name the Iceman?
No, I mean it's not be funny. But I would throw ice. I'm like, hey,
superpower.
Hey, you go that way. You go that way.
That's
Leave
great.
each other alone.
That's funny though. I picture you bartending. Security's like, Chuck, can you help us, please?
My buddy Chris Pontius told me to ask you about fighting with like a bunch of Navy SEALs. Safe to say it takes some serious balls to fight a bunch of Navy SEALs. And how are you going to do that if you got no fucking balls? Well, good news is this month, the month of April, is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. And my good friends from Manscaped are getting behind the cause by supporting their longtime partner, the Testicular Cancer Society, by releasing this special edition Lawnmower 4.0. There are only 10,000 of these purple TCS special edition lawnmowers in existence. And if you buy them one, then you're getting behind this great cause and contributing to the $50,000 Manscaped is donating to it. Yeah. So even better than that is the deal you get if you use the promo code STEVO at manscaped.com. Then you're going to get 20% off your order plus free shipping for getting behind this epic cause, and not to mention having good looking, nice groomed balls, which you need to be checking on to make sure that they don't have cancer. Okay, thank you, Manscaped, for being such good, wonderful people, and thank you for going to manscaped.com and using the promo code STEVO. Now, let's talk about fighting Navy SEALs.
Yeah, that happened a long time ago. People ask that all the time. I mean, for me, I wasn't involved in most of it. The first time they came in, all the guys that trained with me that normally working at that bar were in Hawaii with us, because we all went to Hawaii for our whole fight team went. And Gam McGee was still there, who's 6'10", almost 300 pounds, and he fought for a UFC world title at one point. But he was involved in it. He got cut. I got cut over his eye. He got a cut somewhere on his face, I think. And then a couple of his buddies really pissed off, and everyone was mad about it. And then they showed up again 2 weeks later, and so the guys got back at him. When I showed up, they had one of my buddies had a guy pinned. The only thing I did was I ran over. Hey, and this guy was hitting my buddy when he had the guy started hitting my buddy that had him pinned. I ran over to head snap the guy, bounced his face off the ground. So
what does head snap?
Yeah, what is that?
Just grab his head, and just move back and pull his head down and slapped his head off. His head went off the ground. He went out. It was cut open his head, I think.
That seems a little bit out of character for you. I think that you strike me as more of a put him in a like choke him out and then lay him down nice and soft.
Just like that was the next guy.
Typically that would I don't once it goes to throwing punches, I don't do that. I did that one time in college and got kicked in the face while I was doing it. Like never again. So once a bunch of people are throwing punches, I try to keep my hands free. So I snap them. That's quick.
Okay, gotcha.
Everybody gets them off. It keeps them quick. It gets it over and it's quick. Yeah, I don't know.
Hawaii or San Luis Obispo?
San Luis Obispo.
You went to SLO up Cal Poly
SLO, yeah. I lived up there for 20 years. The whole time, my whole fight career.
Yeah.
So, people ask me about that. I had a guy, an ex-SEAL, or maybe he's still a SEAL, but asked me if I was mad at him. And I'm like, no. Like, it was a bar fight. It happened. It happens. Shit happens. I mean, it's whatever. Like,
right.
For what? I'm like, it was just,
I think Pontius asked about that, or told me to ask about that, because Pontius is from San Luis Obispo.
Oh, yeah.
So I think
it's like a local legend.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah.
We did a show in San Luis Obispo not long ago, and of course you're part of my show with the cauliflower ear bit. And when I brought up your name, I said the pride of San Luis Obispo, Chuck Liddell, and you got a lot. You always get a lot of love. Every time I do a show, I say your name, man. It's always a huge cheer.
Yeah, and then the second part of the bit, when you're bleeding and he caught the blood, everybody's like, dude, how sweet, he tried to catch your blood,
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we got blood.
Yeah, we're bleeding.
Oh, we're bleeding.
Well, that was a big problem. Is it's getting that injury on your ear without the blood,
right?
Because you have once it pops, it doesn't stay there. You need it to blow up.
And you can't have it leaking out.
I said that my buddy was training his kids here, like his 8-year-old, training his cauliflower air out, getting the blood out of his ear.
How does an 8-year-old get cauliflower ear?
It happens all the time.
Wrestling, right?
Wrestling matches, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know 8-year-olds wrestled.
When did you
They're
get?
pretty good.
When did you get cauliflower ear?
Mine slowly grew. I never blew up. Like mine just slowly grew over time. I mean, I got a little bit inside my ear blown up, and it was so small I never did anything about it. And it was like in my junior year in high school, and then it just grew through college, and then wrestling. After fighting afterwards, I was doing jiu-jitsu and stuff. And so
When you get it, are you like, fuck yeah?
I did not want to have it like some of my friends like this. Not really, but yeah, it's a badge of honor for a lot of guys.
For sure.
Dude, I'm still upset that I wasn't able to get it. So you were already a professional fighter. You're still working at the bar.
Yeah, at the beginning, yeah. Right away. I mean, I'll be honest, like, you gotta look back before Dana Lorenzo came in. I mean, a home run in that sport was $50,000 a fight. You know, like it was like, you know, that's
main event.
This is your main event, or, you know, or you're maybe a little more than that for some of a few of the guys, but for the majority of people, that was a home run.
So when did you get in the UFC?
UFC 17 in 1998.
Okay, and then Dana and the Fertitos came in 2000.
2001, yeah.
Yeah.
So what would like Tank Abbott get for a fight when the original one?
That I don't know. I've never asked. Now that you say that, I probably should.
And you can't even point to those early days. And
I know
say,
my first one. I was an alternate for a tournament, and I got $1,000 to show up. And if I won my alternate match, and someone got hurt, and I got into the finals, I would get $10,000 for second place. And it was a 4-man tournament, so if I got in, I would have been in the finals.
So you fight more than once in a night.
If I fought twice, I would have had a chance to win $20,000 total. So that was.
And in those early days before Dana and the Fertitas, like they're paying you $1,000 and they're losing money, right? Like it was just a.
Yeah, I think they kept their expenses down. They were probably, but there was no one. I mean, you go to some of those. I think that first fight. I mean, there's probably 2,000 people there, you know, in Louisiana. They fly you in the day of weigh-ins. I had to think of me one time, like, oh, he's having a hard time making weight. And I'm like, what do you mean? I just got off the airplane. I actually, one time, I started cutting weight on my connect. Oh, they always had you on a connection, too. You go to middle of nowhere, but I started on my connection. Like, because I was landing after weigh-ins had started. So I put my plastics on and the sweats on top of them, and started running around and things. So think about, I'm in a seat next to you, and we're flying coach, obviously, back then, and you're like sitting there. I'm sitting in a seat next to you, like dripping sweat. Like I if you ever seen a guy in a plastic suit, I sweat bad. So I'm there, sitting next to you, sweating. You're like, how did I buy this seat? Like, how do I get stuck with this guy next to me? Like, I'm dripping over. They has no idea who I am. I've never fought, right? I've never been on TV before. Like, why is this weirdo dressed in a
and then back then
in a bag in a garbage bag and a freaking sweats? Like,
and back then they were like, well, what are you doing this for? You're like, oh, I'm going to go fight in a cage with somebody. They're like, what the fuck? This is before anybody.
Back then I just spent a lot of time promoting people and promoting the sport and trying to explain to people what the sport was. But man, do you have to train for that? Like, you just get off the bar stool and just go. Like, that was a normal question.
Yeah.
And that was like, and it wasn't like they weren't trying to be dicks. They were just like, man, do you have to train for that? You just get up and get off the bar and get out the bar and just get mad at somebody and go fight. Like, I guess you could do that, but yeah, we do train a little bit out here and there.
Yeah. Could you ever at that time like foresee how big the UFC has gotten now?
You know, I always thought it would get this big. I just thought it would take a lot longer to get there. And I think that what happened was like really what the big thing was our Trojan horse. Dana's Trojan horse to get a live fight on TV was a reality show. Yeah, and that reality show craze is what really drove it, because what we got because it was really hard to break into people like younger people were understanding understand the sport, but like breaking into like some of these companies and getting in some of these executives, the guys at the top were like, that's not good stuff. No one wants to see that. But when we got when those fighters started going and they started doing the show, the ratings that they got, we're like, wait a minute, people are watching this. And then that fight, I mean, you could ask for a better
was it Forrest Griffin was the first?
Forrest Griffin and Bonner was that first final main event or first final fight for that show, and it was like first live fight on TV. You know, it's like, we couldn't ask for a better fight. I mean, it's like a Gotti
Right.
Ward type, like guys going at it and just they were doing mixed martial arts stuff. It wasn't just like a striking or
Right.
too much wrestling. It was a mix of everything. So it was such a great fight for it. That'd be that.
Brilliant.
When people ask me, did you think Jackass would blow up and become as big as it was? Like, I always say, I understood that it would be popular. I just didn't think it would be allowed on TV to become popular. That was like I just figured, like, how are you going to show the fucked up shit that we do? Like, it's not, like, what we do isn't allowed on TV.
Right.
And the kind of the same thing with the UFC is that the problem wasn't whether it would be popular enough to become as big as it is. It's just would they fucking show it, And that's been a little bit of an uphill battle. And it was like, what do you think broke down the barriers?
It was just, it's like anything else.
Ratings.
The ratings.
Yeah.
Ratings
People
and
wanted
money.
it.
Hey, if you get enough, once they were able to get and show how many people really wanted to watch this, like, oh, okay.
Well, now Dana's talking about getting it on CBS.
Not ABC, and he's already had one on ABC.
So
They've already had one. They've got another one coming up, and that was the one he was trying to get Hamzat and Colby on.
I feel like you also got to give Joe Rogan a lot of credit because, like, for someone like me who's like not really following the UFC, but I hear him talk about it and the art of it and like the intricacies of it. It
For
kind of makes
sure.
me look at it more as like not just some violent, crazy thing, but more as like
he's
a sport.
he's a mixed martial artist in his own right.
Right,
He's a
Yeah.
good jiu-jitsu guy. Did kickboxing. He was a kickboxing guy. I mean,
Didn't he start out in Taekwondo, I think? And then Taekwondo went out a little bit, and then
I think he was an instructor for Taekwondo.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see him in the UFC Hall of Fame. I mean, there's got to be a spot for Joe Rogan in there.
Absolutely. And it's a really good point that Joe Rogan did so much for the sport. What's also interesting too, for all of like the stigma of it, and people think it's just so violent and you can't do that, but there's a lot more deaths in boxing than there are in MMA.
yeah. I mean, a lot of that comes with head trauma. I mean, there's only so many things in boxing. They're two different sports. I get irritated when people start comparing this and that, striking, and it's different striking. You can't stand in a boxing stance and strike and fight MMA. It's not possible. Like you stand in a boxing stance, you're not going to last long. It's too easy to take you down, and it's too easy to kick you in the legs. Like you're not going to last in a kickboxing match. Like I tell people, you take a guy in a boxing stance, and he's got one round to knock me out in a boxing, in a kickboxing, because I'm like, if I can kick his leg, by the end of the first round, he's not going to be putting enough weight on that front foot to knock me out.
Yeah.
He's like gonna, and so but it's different. But like for boxing, a lot of it is that there's so much. There's a lot more head trauma. I mean, if you think about it, there's so many other ways to do things. There's the wrestling and there's
Right.
ways to get away from it, and also you're not getting.
Gloves
You don't
are
get
so
there's no
heavy.
8 count. You're not getting 8 counts. It's not. You're not getting 8 counts and you guys getting dropped multiple times in a round.
Right.
No, you get dropped, you get flash knocked down, the guy jumps on you, right? It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
true.
You're not getting knocked down.
Right.
3 or 4 times in a fight.
Yeah, what was the Usman fight and the Colby Covington fight? Like the amount of punches those took. Like a boxer would take those every time they fight. That amount. That happens.
And that happens with training too. Like they're taking more shots in training.
Right.
Because like when it comes down to it, like you've got so many things to train and only so much time.
Yeah.
So in a week, there's only so much time in a week. There's only so much time you can realize. So you have to, budget your time to what they're working on. They're working on wrestling. They're working on jiu-jitsu. They're working on their striking. They're mixing it together. All their strength and conditioning, all that stuff. You're trying to do all these things. So you can't spar as much. You can't get hit in the head as much because you're not. It's just there isn't time.
Yeah.
So you were like the first real like breakout star of the UFC, right? Like that's safe
Gladiator.
to say. I remember like I wasn't in like the early 2000s. I wasn't at all a like UFC fan. You know, I had tried to watch it in the '90s and just found it too boring because they had like
a gi choke out or something with.
It was just like grappling, and the rounds weren't. There was just
One long round.
So the grappling exchanges just made it boring for me because that round never ended, and so I wasn't really paying attention. But I remember hearing your name a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, a lot of it was right place at the right time, but it's like I said, when you're given, you know, everyone's you got lucky, you got this opportunity, that opportunity, but you still have to perform.
Yeah.
Like if you get as lucky as you want, to get something, if you don't do a good job there, you're not going to get it. They say it about actors all the time. Oh, he had his lucky break at this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but if he wasn't. You know, how much time did it take to get there? What was he doing? And then how did he do when he got that break? Because if he'd gotten that part and sucked, we would have never heard of him.
Right.
Yeah, and in your line of work, you get your ass kicked. You know, if it's not making it.
If you go out, if I got this big break, I go out there and I get knocked out, it's over.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
There it is.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very true.
Do you have a favorite fight? Yeah, something that you think back to. I'm so glad
honestly,
that's in the books.
Favorite fight, huh? Well, I certainly have a least favorite fight, the one I am currently losing to donuts and all of the other garbage that I'm piling in my face all day. Man, my diet has turned into absolute crap, and the only thing saving me is Athletic Greens. What's that? Well, it's a delicious, convenient, comprehensive nutrition supplement, which I use every day, man. It fills in the gaps, the humongous gaps in my diet. And it's got 75 different vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. It's great for your gut health. It helps with your brain. It really improves your cognitive abilities. I'm telling you, this stuff is magic. I use it all the time. And if you go to athleticgreens.com/Steve-O, then they're going to give you an entire year's worth of vitamin D, which boosts your immunity and overall health, plus 5 free travel packets with your daily nutrition, and you get all that if it's your first order. So get over to athleticgreens.com/Steve-O and fill in the gaps in your diet. Now, let's talk about favorite fights.
If you have to put a gun to my head and pick one, I mean, I'd probably be beating Randy the first time I beat him. This was after the Ultimate Fighter. It was like, you know, it was a week after we just won the show. I just won the show. It was everything's all hyped up. It was the first fight I actually got my pay-per-view bonus too. So because we actually hit big enough numbers and we made them by a lot. So it was I avenged the loss. You know, I was avenging a loss that I got back, and I got a win by knockout. I mean, it was a knockout. And close second to that was beating Randy the second time because I felt like I proved it wasn't a fluke. Oh, that's a fluke. Keep beating him because he lost the first time. So the second time, and I knocked him out in the first round, and that just proved it wasn't a fluke. We went and did it again.
Do you have a ritual, a pre-fight ritual that you always do every fight, or is it varied? Do you want not people talking to you? Do you eat a certain thing? Do you not jerk off for 5 days beforehand? Like, I'm very fascinated by like the ritual.
That one, no. That was never my issue. I was limited. I was supposed to be limited to what I did right before, but no, didn't listen to that very well. I was really good with my diet and meal prep. I had meal preps. Like, you know, I got my weight down. I got my weight down before the fight. By the end of my career, I was like, always knew when I was going to be 213 when I woke up. To about 213, 13 and a half when I woke up to cut weight. It'd take me, you know, easy cut, and then I just kind of cruise to make the 205. And, you know, and I just kind of relax, man. My thing is, like, for me, my fight week, I always enjoyed fight week because my training base, the last day of sparring on Saturday, the week before the fight, was that's my last day of training, and I was done. like after that, I'm relaxed. I'm good. We got the game plans. We're ready with everything, and I just go enjoy the time. Like I hang out with my friends. We warm up a little bit. We didn't do much all week training wise, and which is nice. And then you got to do your interviews and do all that stuff. Go around and do that stuff, but and then goof around. I mean, I goof around with my friends. I guess walking from the hotel over to the arena. I was always singing. I'd always sing. Whatever I had on my thing, which people kind of laugh because I go back and forth from like country to like DMX to Slayer to like what is wrong with this kid? Like, what's he like? And I just go out and fight, man. I enjoyed it. Like it was one of those things. Like I felt like that was my reward for all the work I put in.
Yeah,
it was a walk out there.
So
and go
crazy
fight.
to think of enjoying fighting.
So stoked.
Like Justin Gaethje's like, I'd never sleep better than fight week, and I'm like, I wouldn't sleep at all. Just that anticipation or.
Yeah, I know that's really weird. One of the things that's off the topic, but like the new way they do weigh-ins now. You know how they do the weigh-ins at like 8 or 9, and then do like a fake weigh-in at like 3 or 4, or whatever for the fans. I'm like,
oh really?
What is even the point? Like I'm like, okay, if you want to get us up to 8 and 9, tell the fans we'll be there. They'll be there at 8 and 9.
Yeah,
if that's when you want to do the weigh-ins. Let's just get it done. Like why? Don't bring me back. Don't bring me back for this stupid thing. Number one. Number two. For me, it really sucks because I go to sleep my whole fight prep. I go to sleep about 2, 3 in the morning because I fight at 9 o'clock at night. So 9:30 at night, 9:30 at night. So I don't want my body getting ready to shut. Like if you normally go to sleep every day at 10 o'clock, your body's shutting down. You're putting chemicals out. It's ready to shut down. 8:39. It's ready to go to bed. I get up about 10:30. I go to sleep about 2:30. So that was kind of my daily schedule, and I usually took a nap in the afternoon after training. But I don't know if I would have really liked having to get up. Like I'd actually have to cut weight before I went to bed probably because I wouldn't want to get up at 5 to cut weight for. It does give you
longer. It gives you longer to rehydrate though. Like
longer to rehydrate, but that was an issue for me.
Right.
I didn't because I started cutting my water that morning, so I only cut water for like it's like you doing like you going to do a regular workout today,
right?
And just waiting a couple extra hours to drink water. You're not gonna get that dehydrated. I lose 10 pounds. I lose 10 pounds of water, but to hold it off for 2 or 3 hours, it's not a big deal.
Right.
Now once you start holding that overnight, I don't like holding it over. That's one of the reasons I did it that way. I don't like doing it overnight. Like I don't like going to bed deprived of water.
What do you think about this? If they decided that, like at the little check-in station where they check your gloves and they put the Vaseline on your face and stuff, like right before you get in the octagon for the actual fight, what do you think if they weighed you at that point so that you knew stepping into the octagon precisely what that person weighed? I would be fascinated to know how much weight they put back on.
I think that'd be actually kind of cool for fans, or like even just in the locker room before they come out anytime, because you don't really give or take a few sips of water. I mean, if they just when they came in and checked their weight and just see what their weight is the next day.
Yeah, but if they were, they're already standing there for like
have it on top of a scale so you can see it up there. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd
be cool. That'd be cool because you could see some of these differences, like especially some of these little guys. Man, I'm impressed. I'm still impressed when they make that weight. Like when a little guy loses like 20 pounds, I'm like, dude, how did you lose 20 pounds? I've done like 19 and a half before. And it was a day of weigh-in, so I made it. But it was a timing change. So
that's the guy who doesn't mind doing it at 8 and 9 in the morning.
But yeah. As soon as I get it off, please let me step on a scale.
Yeah. So you weigh in at 205. And then what are you by the time you get into the ring?
I was about 215 probably.
By the time you got into the ring, so you gained 10 pounds?
I gained it back out.
In like a day?
That's why I walk around. Yeah, because you just lost. I lost it a day, put it back on.
Crazy.
But I'm sorry. Then what's the point of the weigh-in if you're not that weight when you fight anyway?
That's a good question.
Well, the point is that there's only everyone made a certain goal weight. Like you don't have to. so we don't have to walk
So
around.
we got everyone to a base point.
We have a base. Everyone makes it to a base point the day before. That's the agreement. Like I said, so I don't care if you put on. I don't care if you put on 34 pounds. If you had to cut 34 pounds to get there, I know that took it out of you. So if you're 34 pound heavier than me, you know, but you had to cut all that water to make that weight. You're going to pay for it tomorrow.
Okay.
So you're paying for it.
Right.
Like so.
So it does level the playing field.
Yeah, it levels the playing field because it's like for different people. Like it's like deciding what weight to stay at, what weight to go down to, or if you should go down a weight or stay up a weight.
Right.
And it comes down to like what's the best? Where am I the best? Where am I? I got the best strength to weight ratio. Like where am I the strongest for that for my body type, my weight, my size.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just it's a basic choice for people. Like everybody makes it different. Like some people, like a lot of guys, like some people don't like to cut. Like I like to keep getting down. I get down. I just like to get to where I'm about between 215 and 213 before I cut. Now, a lot of guys don't want to do that. Like, a lot of guys like to keep their weight around 220 and cut down from there. They're more comfortable cutting 15 pounds. That's what makes them. What makes them feel strongest and feels best. So and that works for me too. Like I don't care as long as you made that weight, we're fair. You know, it's fair.
Okay.
I could have kept my weight up at 220 if I wanted to, and cut the same amount of weight and been bigger too. But I didn't want to because I would. It's like if I went. Everyone asked me if I went heavy. If I went up to heavyweight, I still would have fought at like 220, 218. My body wouldn't have carried. It would have taken a while. I would have maybe my third or fourth fight down the road. If I started going heavyweight, I would have started getting bigger.
Yeah.
But at that time, like if I decided to just go up for one fight, I would have been 218 because that's where I was most comfortable fighting. Right. Like because I'd done it in kickboxing before where I was, I'm going to fight heavyweight, so I might as well just be 225. I felt like a slug. And I started pushing my punches and I got tired real fast. There's a little more weight to carry around. So
makes sense.
Yeah, do people do cocaine for weight cuts, or I guess they're gonna drug test you for the fight?
In Pride they do. Pride they fucking do whatever.
That seems like a strange way to weight cut, but I guess you could.
I wonder, like, if anybody is about to weigh in and they're not gonna make weight. Have you ever heard of anybody just fucking donating a pint of blood just to get that last pound off?
That I have not heard. I don't think that would be a good idea. No.
It'd probably be a bad idea.
You want that blood. Unless you're going to put it back in after. You say,
put it back in after.
Put it back in after.
A transfusion.
A little transfusion.
Some Lance Armstrong fucking weight cutting shit.
Dude.
That's
maybe.
epic.
Yeah, we're onto something now.
But that's insane.
And thanks for clarifying that about the weight cut, because I was always like, what the fuck is the point? But that makes total sense what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody, when you agree to a weight, and if you make the weight, that's why I hate when these guys show up like 8 pounds over, 10 pounds over.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, you show up 8, 10 pounds over, you didn't try. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
I just got on a scale and made weight. If you were having that kind of a problem making weight, call me up. Let's talk to me. Hey, if you want to fight, I can only make 210. I'm not gonna make it. Let's do a catch weight. Okay, let's call Dana. Let's do a catch weight. Okay,
Dana does not love catch weight.
He doesn't, but I mean, if it's between that and the fight, okay.
Right.
But if he's not gonna even try, I don't want to try. I don't want to have to make weight. I don't want to make weight and then have him come in at 210. Come over him weighing at 215. I weigh in at 205. It's like that's not cool.
What happens when that happens? Does the fight still happen?
If they ask that, you have to accept it if you want to, and most guys will.
Negotiation.
And then they give.
And you don't want to look like a bitch.
I don't know what that, but I don't know what you get a percentage of that purse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They'll renegotiate your contract right down to the wire, and they'll say, okay, this guy's not making weight, but we're gonna give you 20% of his purse.
Well, I think that's almost automatic, the 20% of his purse.
Right,
so even if he knocks you out, you're getting 20% of what he'll make.
Correct.
Okay.
I think a lot of. I don't know. You probably offer a lot of different things. Depends on the fight too. Like if it's a guy trying to make it in the UFC, you say, okay, we'll give you. If you lose, we'll bring it back anyway. We're not going to cut you for losing since you gave up the weight.
Right.
They'll make negotiations. They want to make the fight. They want. All comes down to it. You want to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I've accepted a couple guys that didn't make weight before back in the day, but I'm like, that was close enough. They tried.
Right.
They're like, is that okay? Like, this was before there was commission.
Oh, wow.
It was one of the UFC before. Hey man, is it okay? Yeah, he's fucking like. Yeah, I look at him. He tried. He's good. He's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't look. He's not like huge. I mean, okay,
Right.
The statistics really show that people who miss weight and come in heavier win a lot. Like your chances of winning coming in heavier are greater.
The
Right.
odds
So
are in
you're
your favor.
sacrificing 20-30%, but you're probably going to win.
When you agree to fight a guy who missed weight, you are like deliberately, consciously taking a disadvantage in the fight.
Definitely. Right.
And so, as such, you should get financially compensated.
For sure. I agree.
It's only fair. It's like fighting with steroids, maybe. Not really, but like, I mean, you have a little bit of extra weight behind you. It kind of helps the cause.
Yeah, different reasons. Yeah, a lot of guys. Or maybe there's guys that shouldn't be at that weight.
Sure.
They're
Yeah.
too big for that weight. You know, they walk around too big for that weight.
Who's your
Sometimes
favorite? Who's your favorite fighter to watch these days? Like of the young guys coming up?
Oh man, well, not young guys yet. It's still Glover Teixeira still out there. So
Yeah, okay, sure. Young or just current.
Is Glover Teixeira the champ still right
Yeah.
now?
He's ranked like top
That dude
pound
is
for
like
pound,
my-
top 5.
Yeah, he's one of my guys. He used to train with me.
Nice.
But
He's a good dude, man. I really like him.
And how old is he now?
he beat Jan Blachowicz for the title. Does he still have the title?
Yeah, he still has it.
He's got
fights
the
again.
belt right
Fights
now.
again. Shanghai, June, right?
Yeah, and he fights at Yuri Prikashka or. Yeah, that's fucking scary, man. But dude, I love watching all these old guys kill it. You know, like the old guys are doing pretty fucking well these days. Like Andrei Arlovsky with all the victories, and Glover Teixeira is the champ, and fucking who else is that? Alexei Olenek just had a victory. He's fucking 44 years old.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was his 77th pro fight. He's 44 years old. It's
crazy.
And he fucking was in deep trouble, and he fucking switched it around, and that was great.
Wow.
I don't miss a fight, Chuck. I'm a fucking.
That's awesome.
I'm gnarly.
Do you watch them all?
No. I still love fights. I still watch them, but I just don't. I mean, I got kids, and it's hard to get the time to watch all of them.
It's got to feel good that whenever you're at the pay-per-views, and you're at most of them, that like hearing the crowd roar when they show you on the screen.
Yeah, it's still cool. Yeah, that's still cool to have.
For sure.
Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, it's crazy because like that's just like longevity, man. You have enduring fucking legacy, man. That's why I say legend.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And so I remember when we were in Peru, it was so crazy. We were in this food tent, and you said, like, oh, something or other, like, we were talking about representation. You were like, oh, well, man, I never wanted an agent because I'm not going to let him take 10% of my fucking fight purse, and especially if I come back. And I said, like, wait, hold on a second. Did you just say come back? And then I remember, like, I had you on camera, like, and you said, I'm thinking about fighting again. And I was like, have you told that to anybody? And you said no. And I'm like, oh my God, like this camera I'm holding is so fucking valuable. That was that.
It was. I mean, it was good. It was good to go out of my own way. But probably not the best option at the time. I needed another neck surgery at that time, so I still need him. I went down to. I actually went down to Colombia.
For the bioaccelerator,
And I said, well, I do have some neck. I got it from I went down for my shoulders. It was amazing. It worked amazing for my shoulders. But I got my knee checked. But I had it was just worn to the bone, so it wasn't. Yeah. But and I wanted my neck, and so they did an MRI down there. So before they do something on your neck, they want to do an MRI. So, are you having problems with your balance and coordination? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, they're like, oh, well, I think when you get back, you should go see your doctor about that way have your neck looked at. So I said, all right. And I'm like, so didn't worry about it when I got back for about a month and a half. And I'm like, what's up? You're having problems with your balance and coordination, Chuck. I'm like, what do you mean? No, I'm not. I was like, yeah, we should go get you checked. So I went and got an MRI. So get the MRI, I go in and talking to the doctor, come out, and he goes, So he's like, so you're having problems with the bounce? I'm like, what the hell is wrong with people? Like, why do you keep saying this? I'm like, oh, really? I'm fine. I just fought. Like, I'm all right. I mean, I'm good. He's like, really? Do me a favor. Go stand on the other side of the room. Walk to me heel toe. I try to walk it, like I'm not walking out. Now close your eyes. Try to do it. I took one step. I'm like, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Let me try this again. Try to do it again. And he's like, okay, yeah, now stick your hands out, stand on one foot, put your arms out, touch your nose. All right, now close your eyes. Close my eyes, I fell over. I'm like,
wow.
Shit. He's like, yeah, your vertebra is worn through it, so it's tapping your spine, and so you're balancing yourself with your eyes. Your body's so great, like it adjusts your brains.
Yeah,
I wasn't getting the right signals from anywhere else. So my brain, I was using my eyes to balance.
Whoa.
It's crazy to like they're looking at like scientific evidence that there's a problem, but Chuck doesn't believe it. I'm fine.
Yeah. Then he's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna move this guy out. We'll have you in surgery on Tuesday. I'm like, wait, whoa, time out. What do you mean Tuesday?
When was all this? It was after that last fight you had?
Yeah, after the last fight I had, I took a bioaccelerator to go down there and get my shoulders, and it was like about 6 months after the last fight, and I went down there, and but it was like, I went in. It was funny because I'm like, man, why do we have to do it Tuesday? Like this is not. Like, hold on, I'm trying to accept I got to do another next surgery. And he's like, so well, he's like, look, man, it's not a big deal. It's just, but if we wait, there's a chance if you get in a car accident and you got a bad car accident right now, you might not walk again. I don't want to be the reason you got like that was because I put you off a month and a half to get your surgery.
Yeah,
I got an opening right here. Yeah. We're gonna do it on Tuesday.
Wow.
What's that from? Is that from just years of wrestling and fighting?
Wear and tear, just wrestling and fighting. I mean, it was just like because it was just worn to the bone, so it's just going.
Jeez. Yeah, you kind of have that too, right?
I've got degenerative disc disease in my neck. Yeah, it's.
Is that the same thing?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I know mine's pretty like basically they kind of explain the different solutions, and basically just fuse it. The other two don't really work for it, but fusing
I'm a
it
ways
works.
away from that. I'm sure Chuck had it a little bit worse.
Is it better now? If you close your eyes, can you balance?
Oh yeah, I was better. I was almost better walking out.
Wow.
Walking out the next day when I woke up and got up from surgery.
Even with your eyes open, did it feel like different, or was it only when your eyes were closed you're like, I can stand up?
Yeah, only when the eyes were closed. I mean, I was but everyone said I was that day I was walking different again because they said my wife paid more attention to me than I do. So she's like, yeah, you were walking different for a long time, for a while.
Interesting.
Is that the UFC doctors doing all that, or is that just your own private?
I've got my own private doctors. Yeah. Well, I have SAG insurance. So it's really good.
Yeah. Nice. So that last fight with Tito, the one that when we were in Peru, you told me you were thinking about, like it was tough, man. And I know that like the world responded to it, and like they viewed it as sort of a bummer. And from my perspective, I thought, well, shit, like here's Chuck. He's a fighter. He fucking misses it. Like it's in him. Like it's just like. I just felt like, I understood why you wanted to do it, and I thought it was fucking great that you went for it.
Yeah, and I have no regrets. I mean, obviously, I wish I was healthier, and I wish I performed better. But other than that, hey, I went out and did my thing. I it is what it is. It
right.
Win something, you lose something. It is. I mean, I didn't do anything. I went out and did the best I could. And
I mean, dude, like as far as your legacy goes, I mean, it doesn't fucking change shit about the fact that you're the fucking Iceman Chuck Liddell, dude.
Right. I don't feel that at all. So.
And your Chuck and Tito 30 for 30 was fantastic.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
It really was fucking fantastic.
They did a really good job with that. Having it, getting it. Getting a lot of issues and a lot of history and a lot of stuff. I thought they covered it pretty well.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Mm-hmm. And your relationship with Dana is just great, huh?
Yeah, I still have a good relationship with Dana. We were friends. We I mean, he was my manager before this.
Oh, wow.
Thing.
Yeah.
Before he started to buy it, they decided to buy it, and we don't always agree on everything, but that you don't always have to. By the way, guys, people, you don't have to always agree with your friends.
Yeah.
Right.
Creative differences.
It's okay to have friends that think different than you do.
Yeah.
It's actually, it makes life interesting.
I don't know. That's a controversial statement right there.
That was
It makes life fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like when
I
you
agree.
first stopped fighting. Though, like Dana really took care of you, huh? Like,
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. They and the funny thing, like when I first came, like I don't know why. I think he forgets the story how it worked, because he planned on coming to me and telling me to quit. Like when we had a dinner meeting, and we walked in and he said okay, we're done. I said, I'm ready to retire. I just don't want to. I can give me a minute, give me a little bit of time to. He said, man, thank you. I was coming in here to tell you to quit. I wanted you to quit. He said, I'll release you if you. I'm not going to fight you anymore. He said, I wasn't going to fight you anymore. I would release you to fight anywhere you want, but I'm not. I can't do it anymore. You're done. You're not able to. And I said I came in right away. That's why I said no. I'm ready to retire, because
those last handful of fights were tough, man. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, in the last fight, I think I knocked myself out really with that headbutt, but still, it's one of those things. I went like, Rich, a great fighter and tough guy, and I thought he should have been able to knock me out like that, and I should be able to take a punch better than that, and if I can't, then it's time to retire.
Yeah.
Right. And so he employed you. Right? Like,
yeah, and then I worked for the UFC until
WME bought it.
WME bought it, and then a year after. They kept me on for about a year, and then they got rid of me. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I get it. I mean, a new company, and
well, right. I mean, if they're
I wasn't actually really doing much outside of having my. And I just got married, I had my kids, and that was like they'd offered, if you want to move out to Vegas and do that. I'm like, nah, I'm okay.
I think the way Dana describes it, he was paying you to not fight.
Right.
Which is great.
It was, and it was like, yeah, and I mean, he said, I had to cut, come to like 3 or 4 shows, when they offered it, come in for 3 or 4 shows a year,
Yeah.
And I was like, and so I just went to one. I went to a lot more than 3 or 4, but that what they offered them. I like going to fights, so
I love it.
I'm coming to fights, having fun, meeting fans, and hanging out with fans, and having a good time.
They did the same thing with Forrest Griffin.
Yeah,
every time I go to the Apex, Forrest Griffin's just on site.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that guy too.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
That's it. I think that's killer, man. That for all the way people describe Dana and how he does business and stuff, I think that it's really telling the way he looked out for you. The way he took care of you.
Yeah.
And to talk to Rhonda about how much she loves Dana. Dana's relationships, I think, speak to what kind of guy he is.
Oh yeah, Dana's a good dude, man. I like Dana. We always have. I mean, hey man, he speaks his mind.
Yeah.
And I don't like I said, I don't always agree with him, but hey, I'm okay with people speaking their mind. I like it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You're not wondering whether he doesn't like you or not.
For sure.
You're not wondering. Is Dana mad at me? Like I always just tell people about me, like if you got to ask someone if I'm mad at you, I'm not. Just say no.
Yeah, you would know.
If you're doing something that makes me mad, I will let you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not aggressive either way, but I'm very straightforward. Like, hey, don't be an asshole. Quit being an asshole. I will let you know. Like, if you have to ask someone or guess if I don't like you or if I'm mad at you, you're probably safe to say I'm not.
Yeah, that's good.
People used to ask my wife, "Hey man, Chuck's he's not really texting me back. Is he mad at me?" She's like,
no, dude, he gets 800 texts a day. Like,
it's if you send him if you send me an ending, like, hey, look at this cool thing I did. I mean, I might not get around to, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I looked at it and went, okay, cool, that's cool. But I didn't even need a response. I probably didn't respond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I did respond and you think it's short, like I'm being short, if I respond, I like you. Just anybody,
you got the
if I'm
response.
if you're texting me and I actually respond, I like you.
Yeah.
Because like, if I don't, I won't even bother to respond.
Sure. Do you have anything coming up?
You know, I've been doing a lot of little things. You know, I've been working on doing that No Chucks Given thing, doing that kind of show. We haven't really, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it, but we're having a lot of fun doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Like
you
going
stay
out-
busy.
Going out doing a lot of fishing trips, to do some hunting, some a lot of stuff with did some with some military guys. E3 Ranch, we go out there and do some. Always have some fun with those guys, the
Cool.
crazy guys.
Yeah, that's cool.
Those guys are nuts. Man, they can shoot.
Oh, I bet.
Some of those guys.
I'm trying to remember, like before we get done, I'm trying to remember you had some crazy like drugs and private jets and like
He's like, I was hoping you didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're covering that.
maybe it was a private conversation.
Maybe it's a private jet, no drugs, or
Yeah.
something like that.
I mean, let me rephrase. If you can like color in like what it was like going from being like working in the bar to becoming this fucking mainstream like icon of the UFC.
Okay, kind of a weird way to explain that. So it's a funny story. So I just won beat Randy, won the title after the Ultimate Fighter. I was out visiting with the Bull Ford in Tampa. I was out visiting, and Dana calls me and said, "Hey, you want to go on vacation with me and Lorenzo and Frank or whatever?" And I'm like, "Sure, okay." Well, for a week, okay, we're gonna fly you out here. So I get on. So I get on the plane. I get on Southwest. I put it on Southwest to go back, and I get on there, and I'm sitting there, and I got a window seat and this small row in the aisle, and then no one in my seat next to me. And I'm like, okay, perfect. And last minute, this guy probably 6'6", maybe 330, probably do that. Comes on. I'm like, oh man, please pass me. Please walk by. Please walk by. Please walk by. He walks by. Oh, phew. Comes back. There's no other seats. Asked the girl, hey, do you mind us moving in the middle so I because I don't fit in the middle? She's like, oh, I get claustrophobic. He's like, looks at me like, I'm like, oh. So 5 hours like that, right, to Vegas. So I get to Vegas, I get picked up at the airport in a car, and they drive me to the private hangar where I get on a G4 with 3 other people and fly to Ibiza, where we go over to the yacht, which has 80, which is 200, a couple of yachts that are over 200 feet, and have 88-foot tenders. And I mean, we were there for about a week. I mean, it was absolutely bananas. And that, to give you an idea, like that was such a wild trip there. Like I mean, stuff we did I probably can't get into, but like, it was so much fun. And we actually flew straight from there, went to England to do a tour promoting UFC. Straight from Ibiza. That not probably the best idea, but we land, and I got these 2 girls calling me up to go out. And I'm like, and anyone that knows me, this was big. I went, nah, I can't do it. I'm not gonna. And they're like, well, how about we just come over? I'm like, no, I need to sleep right now. I need to. Sorry, and I mean, I was so glad I did it because the next day I knew we had a radio tour the next day, but I didn't know we were gone for like 14 hours. Like I was like driving all over the place doing all these tours.
Did you get a rain check?
Well, yeah. It was a smart move. I was just doing one of the times just made the right. I had to make the right decision. I was
Right.
oh man.
Wow.
But yeah, but it's great. But I went from a kid. I'd never been on a yacht. Never.
That was your first experience on a
yacht.
yacht?
First yacht I've ever been on. It's like, so people are like, oh man, my buddy's got like a 50 footer. He's got a 65 footer. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, okay, yeah, I've been on a tender that was 88 feet. Okay, cool. You're like, at first I didn't know that. That's really not like a 80-foot yacht is a nice yacht.
Yeah.
That's not cheap.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's a very nice boat. But you have no perspective really, because I've never been much of a been on.
Yeah.
I was on blue collar kid. Just right. Hey, that's not what I'm used to. But it was pretty crazy. But it was a pretty crazy trip.
So the neck surgery, like,
we had a strip club out there. And I was like one of the few singles, but they were there's some guy doing this videotaping, right? I'm like, hey, it's a security. I'm like, hey, this guy's videotaping. I was like, what? That's not cool. Like, not that for me. I just didn't think that, anybody else wanted to be videotaped. And so security goes, oh, he comes back over. Oh, he's a manager. I don't care if he's a manager. He don't videotape us. And I just come from being a normal kid. Like I'm
trying to get my dick sucked over here, dude. Can you
I'm like,
video?
and then I go over, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna go grab it from the guy, and then I go, oh, Chuck, relax. So they went over and they offered the guy money for it. Like, and I guess they got up to. I didn't know they did this. Dan told me after, because I was like, I was still caught for being, I was gonna come back. I'm like, dude, let me go back there and take it. Like, I would have just taken it from him for $500. Give me the $500. I would have just taken the camera from him. He took the tape. He took the tape out and gave him the camera back. And paid him $500, but I get, because he paid him money, and he wasn't gonna sell it. He's like, look, man, I see that gorilla over there. He pointed at me. He's all, if you don't sell it to me, this tape to me, he's gonna come get it, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, we're on a boat in the middle of nowhere.
So we were it's a strip club, but it was funny. Like,
wow.
It was. It was upset, but that was
what he was doing was wrong, and you were going to make it right.
I was going to make sure he did.
Serve up some ice cold justice.
I was just going to take it from him.
Yeah. That's good. So you told me the bioaccelerator, which is the stem cell operation, which I went to. It's in Colombia. It's great.
Awesome. I was having problems with my bag up over the on the plane, like my shoulders, and I don't know. I mean, this motion hurt.
Wow.
Bad.
Right.
And that was.
So they fixed you.
That really did like a phenomenal job on that.
Wow.
So and the neck surgery helped with your balance.
Yeah, balance. My knee. I did my partial knee replacement. And that works great. So the nicest thing about that was when I did that. Like, so okay, finally I broke down. I'm gonna get it. It was my son did it. Like, he comes in. We were playing soccer, and I was limping, chasing him around playing soccer. And my son comes like, hey, Dad, you don't have to play. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? Like, I didn't want me limping around. I'm like, oh, son, I'm fine. Dad's fine. We'll be good. So I'm like, all right, what do I got to do to fix this? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, they said a partial knee replacement. I said, okay. So now once I get that, what can I do? And the guy said, well, it's not what can you do. It's what should you do. You can do whatever you want. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. If you beat your body like you have for the last 20 years, you'll be back in here in 10 years. Mm-hmm. I said, 10 years? Perfect. That's the first time I got that reaction, but like, what shouldn't I do? He's like, well, I don't want to do any long distance running. I'm like, damn it. Like, no long distance running?
What about
sold.
soccer?
Yeah. Sold.
Yeah.
Like, it's just hiking's fine. They just didn't want me doing that pounding long distance.
Yeah, because
that was the worst thing. But everything else is within moderation. He's like, fine. I'm like, oh, perfect. So I'm banned from doing the thing I hate the most. Yeah, and everything else is good. Perfect.
Yeah.
How do you stay in shape now? I mean, you're pretty jacked, and you got.
I lift and I still hit the bag. Still hit mitts. Still try. I haven't been wrestling enough, but I still like to do a little more jiu-jitsu. I'm starting to learn more gi stuff. I was having fun with that for a little bit. My buddy that was helping me, who just got he had to have eye retina surgery, so it's like he got some weird hit in the eye. I needed to get it fixed. So it's been a while, but I'm starting just playing around. I still like doing jiu-jitsu. I like jiu-jitsu and like striking, like just moving around sparring and doing stuff is kind of one of those things that it allows me to get centered, like and not and just kind of like not think about other things, because usually my mind's racing about a million things at once, and that helps me kind of calm down.
Right. So you can play soccer with your kid now.
Oh yeah, now I can run after him and goof around, and then he doesn't get sad that I'm limping.
That's great, man.
Crucial. Yeah, wow.
I was like, man,
the worst.
Did I look that bad chasing after you? I did look pretty bad.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. And what's No Chuck's given?
It's honestly just me doing stuff. They offer me to go do crazy stuff, and I go do it.
Who's they?
The guys from they do it with me. Guys from Leviathan. They come out. Hey, you want to go? Go shoot. Go hunting, or you want to go out fishing? You want to go do some? Want to go drive side by side? You want to go to the dunes? Whatever. Okay, cool. Let's try it.
You're like, I don't give a chuck.
Dude, that's epic, man. Well, fucking right on, Chuck. Dude, is there anything that we can drive traffic to for you?
Just all my social media stuff. At Chuck Liddell. It's at Chuck Liddell. I think it's on all of them. I think, but
yeah,
I'm not.
Good, man. So get on there. The Instagram's your favorite, yeah?
Instagram, that's one I'm on the most, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do that. I do Twitter, but yeah. So I'm trying to get ChuckLiddell.com back up, but I have to get that back. So we'll talk about that later.
All right. Maybe we can help with that shit.
My brother wanted me letting you know that you hit like a pussy. Just kidding.
We can always redo the thing. We redo that.
I'll pay him $1,000 to come fight him.
We redo that last round.
Yeah, that's epic, man. Well, dude, I love you, Chuck, man.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for having me, man. That's been fun.
Yeah, this has been great.
Fuck
for sure.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Good deal, man. Yeah, dude, how about Chuck Liddell, man? I fucking love that guy. And how about this palm tree? You want to get a look at that? That's what you get right here in Rutland, Vermont. And I cannot verify the truth of what I'm about to say, but I was told that Rutland, Vermont has a population of 16,000 people, over 800 of which will be in this theater tonight. I don't know what percentage that represents. What would that be, P? How many people? That's like fucking almost 20% of the population of the goddamn town's coming to the show tonight. And it's me and Preston Lacey. Yeah, dude. So, fucking love you guys, man. Thank you for sticking around for another episode of the Wild Ride Podcast. And I'd love it if you give some love to Chuck Liddell. Let him know how great it was, Fucking tag him in a post. Whatever. Thanks, man. Love you guys. You.